All right, welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Philadelphia 2012. This is day 2. This is the last round of Swiss. We have a real barn burner here. This is generally considered the winner of this should be in the top 8, we're thinking.
Yes, I think the winner is a lock.
All right.
To top
The voice
8.
you're hearing is Steve Sadin. My name is Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm in the booth. We're going to see Tom Martell versus Shuhei Nakamura. Tom has just been hanging around the top of the standings all day. He's never been at the very top. You know, he hasn't been one of the very top names here, but he has just been hanging around and hanging around. And he's got a tough assignment here to beat Shuhei. Shuhei doing the same thing. Tom Martell has an island and a mountain. And Shuhei has led off with a really nice card, a Deathrite Shaman. But right now it's just battling for one as he follows up with a Guildgate.
So both Shuhei and Tom snuck into day 2 with 7-2 records.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And have just ran the drafts here?
Won their last round of sealed after the cut
Uh-huh.
to get to 8-2. And both have perfect 5-0 records in draft so far.
Wow. You know, you often hear people say that, well, got to run perfect 6-0 tomorrow. And so far, both of these guys have done it. Unfortunately for both of them, only one gets to have that coveted perfect 6-0 and probably make the top 8. The other one is going to be out.
Yeah.
All right, so we see Tom Martell's got a Stealer of Secrets online. Shuhei has played a second Guildgate here, and it looks like Tom says, sure, let's fight. There's a lot. I think there's a Giant Growth here. Block, Giant Growth.
And Martell does not have a trick of his own.
He does not, and he just has to let his Stealer of Secrets die. He follows up with a Gutter Snipe.
But Shuhei gains 2 life with his Deathrite Shaman.
That's going to exile the Stealer of Secrets. All right, Shuhei's going to play an Azorius just this year, although not getting full value here, just going to make it so that there's a Gutter Snipe that can't actually attack or block. Its triggered abilities will still happen.
I got to peek at Shuhei's hand. He has a Vrasaka the Unseen.
He has a Vraska?
Vraska the Unseen, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, he doesn't have a black mana source, at least currently, on the battlefield to cast it. We'll see if he has one in hand. Tom Martell seems to have gone fairly deep with his build here. It looks like he plays a Guildgate and a Chromatic Lantern. So Shuhei battles in there for 2. It looks like Tom's taking it.
And Golgari Longlegs.
And a Longlegs follows it up. Still no black source yet for Shuhei Nakamura. When he does get that, though, Vraska the Unseen is going to do some work for him. Right now, the world is at Tom Martell's fingertips as he has kind of the dream mana scenario.
But does he have any spells that matter?
Yeah, he's got 6 mana of any colors in any combinations that he wants. So all he needs now is just a bunch of awesome spells to cast, and he should be able to be in a sweet spot. Actually, he has 7 mana now. He's going to play Explosive Impact.
Takes out the Golgari Longlegs and knocks Shuhei for 2 with the Gutter Snipe, and then attacks in for another 2, putting Shuhei to 18. Tom played the Explosive Impact on his own turn to protect himself from Giant Growth, but that just made him vulnerable to Knightly Valor.
That's right. Also, you know, it's kind of one of these risk-reward things that he has to figure out, because if he would have waited and Shuhei just says, sure, I'm just going to play my Knightly Valor, then he could have got him, although you could definitely make the argument that Shuhei wouldn't do that if Martell had simply passed the turn back. As it stands, Shuhei does get to resolve his Knightly Valor on his Azorius just this year, and he gets, as well, he gets a 2-2 Vigilance Knight. Tom Martell says, Inaction Injunction, that guy, I'm going to draw a card. He targeted it this year, he's just making sure. Now, Martell does have 2 spells in his graveyard now. That's going to leave the Deathrite Shaman, if Shuhei does find a black mana source, to be able to do that. Instead, Tom Martell plays a Void Wielder and just gets rid of the token.
Right. I guess he doesn't want to bounce the Justiciar because he doesn't want to allow Shuhei to detain all of his creatures.
All right. Now, we did find a black mana source here for Shuhei Nakamura. Now, this one has Summoning Sickness, but when he gets to untap, he can play Vraska the Unseen. He can also start activating his Deathrite Shaman and exiling the instants and sorceries that are in Tom Martell's graveyard to start bringing Tom Martell that much closer to death. He's already at 11.
And Shuhei still has a 4/4 vigilance creature that Tom needs to deal with.
Yeah.
So Tom has all the mana that he could ever ask for at his disposal, but what does he have to do with it?
All right, so what did Shuhei do there? Oh, he used his,
removed
Deathrite.
a creature to gain 2 life with Deathrite Shaman.
All right, again, he doesn't have the black mana available, but now that he's untapped, he does have access to black mana. So Vraska the Unseen can come down here if Shuhei thinks it's the right time for it. I mean, right now, Shuhei does have attacks, though. He doesn't really need it.
He may want to use his Deathrite Shaman for... No, he's playing
Vraska the Unseen, indeed. Does it resolve is the question. Is this a Syncopate? Maybe a cancel from Tom? He says, wait 1 minute. Just 1 minute there, sir. All right, it does resolve, and he is going to immediately minus Vraska. That's going to take out the Gutter Snipe.
Now, if Tom has any instant, he can use Gutter Snipe's ability to take out the Vraska, redirecting the 2 damage that Gutter Snipe would deal.
Is this an Izzet Charm? Is it a Dramatic Rescue? Remember, he's got a Chromatic Lantern. It can be anything. It is a Dramatic Rescue. He is going to bounce the Justiciar, and he's going to redirect the damage. So
that was not great for Shuhei.
No, that really wasn't that great for him at all. And was Martell actually considering? Yeah, no, I see what he's doing. Yeah, so that exchange actually ended up pretty good for Martell. All right,
Shuhei may have been better off
play.
if he had just ticked up his Vraska. Again, that would have left him vulnerable to multiple instants and sorceries from Tom, but
I don't think you really mind if he's got to use a couple of cards, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Shuhei's still in a good spot, but
Shuhei's passed a turn back. He still has that Centaur's Herald ready to go. And he also has the Deathrite Shaman active. And then, yeah, he can untap and detain up to 2 creatures. All right, Tom Martell's found something. It costs 5 mana. And it is an Azor's Elocutors. This is a filibuster counter guy.
So loss of life does not remove filibuster counters.
No, it is damage sources. All right, so making sure life totals are correct. He did gain the 2 life from the Dramatic Rescue. So he's going to remove the Dramatic Rescue, which is going to knock Martell right back down to 11. Ooh, he untapped. Okay, yeah, he's going to let him get away with that one. I did see him go into his untapped step there, but it looked like it wasn't too late. He slid his hands on there. So he does get to make a Centaur.
And is Shuhei going to arrest? No, he's got a big guy.
He has a really big guy, a Risen Sanctuary. It's an 8/8 with Vigilance. Does not have Trample. And that thing is going to start applying pressure. Now, during his upkeep, Tom Martell does get 1 filibuster counter. When he gets the 5th counter, he wins the game. Now, that's right away. But it looks like he's got much bigger problems than that as we're going to see an Azorius Justiciar come down, taking out both of the creatures that Martell has and allowing Shuhei Nakamura to actually swing for lethal damage here if Martell has nothing else. He's shuffling. He says 8, 9, 10, 11. What am I at? I'm at 11. Got to have something. And he does indeed. It is an Azorius Charm, and he's going to put the Risen Sanctuary on top of Shuhei's library and take 3 here.
So he could have used it to kill the Centaur, but Tom does not want to take 8 from.
Yeah, he certainly would have been happier killing the Centaur, but that wasn't an option here because death was apparent. Now, the filibuster counter did come off thanks to the Centaur damaging him, but he gets to put it back on during his upkeep.
And casting that charm just put another instant into Tom's graveyard that Shuhei can remove with Deathrite Shaman.
Tick-tock, he does it again.
Down to 6. Shuhei taps all of his mana to recast his Risen Sanctuary.
So does Martel have a counter for this? No, he doesn't, and Shuhei just says go. So he gets one more filibuster counter on his guy, but Martel is in a pretty tough spot here. Shuhei did use up all of his mana to cast that Risen Sanctuary, so there will not be an activation of the Deathrite Shaman this turn.
But Tom has a lot that he has to deal with. Even a single hit from the Risen Sanctuary, he'll kill him.
Yep. He's going to play a Tower Drake and pass the turn. Now, interestingly, he can make that Tower Drake's toughness 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 toughness more than what it currently is.
But that's not good enough.
Ooh, it also
especially
is
not
irrelevant
against an arrest.
because the arrest comes down and prevents not only attacking and blocking, but also activated abilities. I believe that Shuhei is on the verge of a victory here.
Oh.
He battles with his guys. The Risen Sanctuary must be blocked. But Tom's going to take 2. He's going to take 2 more.
Oh,
from
wait.
the
Does he have a way to bounce the Risen Sanctuary?
Oh, well, let's
Bounce
take a
or
look
kill
here.
it?
He does have a card in hand. Oh. Little bit of drama there. He pulls them back. Looks like he might switch here. He's thinking about certain cards that he can play around and certain cards that he can't. One of the cards that we know of is Common Bond. I don't know if Shuhei has one, but this does play around that a little bit better. And indeed, he does have a second Dramatic Rescue here. It's going to put him back up to 8, although that thing being in the graveyard also means that Deathrite Shaman is going to get a chance to eat it. Well, Tom took nothing. He is going to get up to 3 filibuster counters. If he can just barely hang in there and get that thing up to 5, he can actually just win this game.
But he's out of cards in his hand.
He is indeed. He's going to need something impressive here. And Shuhei says, well, I guess I'll just play this one instead.
Right, he wants to make sure that he has mana to use his Deathrite Shaman.
Uh-huh. And he does exactly that. He brings Martel right back down to 6. Martel very carefully arranging his lands. He does have the 1 card in hand. Sunspire Griffin for Shuhei Nakamura. Continuing to apply pressure. He even has a Centaur Healer to gain him 3 life. That isn't really meaningful at this point, but the extra body certainly is.
Right, so Shuhei has to either kill Tom or at least
Damage
get in
him.
combat damage.
Yeah. Well, it's actually just damage.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, you can burn him too, but I don't think that Shuhei has anything like that.
Yeah.
But with those Elocutors sitting on 4.
So Deathrite Shaman is causing Tom to lose life.
Correct.
Which is why he isn't removing counters. But
all right.
Tom doesn't have
And
anything
Tom
to stop
drew
that attack.
2 mountains in a row. Wasn't quite enough. He did get his Elocutors all the way up to 4. It was very close there, but really Shuhei was in pretty good spot for the majority of that game, and he finds the win. Now, Tom Martel drew a heck of a lot of lands there, and he just needed a few more spells to get him out of it.
Right, he found he had perfect mana, but imperfect spells.
Yeah, well, he had 14 lands or something.
And
He was
Chromatic
pretty well
Lantern to
sold
make sure that he had whatever colors he needed.
That's right. So
anything he
Martel's
drew,
taking a
he
look.
could have cast, but he didn't draw that much that mattered.
I think he could cast anything in the game.
Yeah.
In the set, I mean, even World Spine Worm.
Top 8 on the line right now. Shuhei going
a
for his
5,000-time top 8 competitor.
trying to earn his 20th top 8, which is just
Completely
ludicrous.
insane, yeah. And Martel, you know, he won a GP not too long ago. It was the Indianapolis Legacy GP.
Shuhei actually won the very last Grand Prix that's been played. He won Grand Prix Costa Rica in September.
Well, now the last one was a team Grand Prix.
Or the last individual
Right.
Grand Prix. That was held simultaneously with Moscow. The Grand Prix Costa Rica and Grand Prix Moscow both ended on September 16th.
All right, players are still thinking about a few last-minute sideboard decisions here. Tom Martell is making sure to think through everything. He's very thorough.
Martell trying to earn his 4th Grand Prix top 8.
And he's got 1 win.
1 win.
So 1
Legacy.
out of 4 is pretty good conversion rate.
1 out of 3 so far.
Oh, right. He's trying to earn his 4th. Wow. That's pretty good. That was in Legacy, though. This is limited. Pretty much the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah. All of Tom's top 8 so far have come in constructed. With 2 Legacy top 8s and a standard top 8.
I'm sure he'd love to improve himself here as a all-around player.
Yeah. He's
done that as well at the Pro Tour.
He has a top 8 at Pro Tour Paris.
Yep.
Which is with split format.
That's right. So I guess he doesn't really have a whole lot to prove as far as that goes. But getting another top 8 as a GP would certainly be nice.
Help him work towards securing platinum status again.
Uh-huh. So Shuhei Nakamura up a game here in Grand Prix Philadelphia, round number 16. This is the last round of Swiss, and these guys are playing for top 8. Win and in. Tom Martell is down a game. He's got a pretty interesting looking deck. He's 2-0 with it so far, but Shuhei is also 2-0 with his deck. It's not going to be easy.
Saw some really powerful cards out of Shuhei's deck. Saw Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Saw Vraska the Unseen.
Very good one. We saw Risen Sanctuary. That one's not as amazing, but it serves a role.
It's powerful, if often prohibitively difficult to cast.
True. We did see at least one Axebane Guardian though from Shuhei.
Mm-hmm.
He could be ramping a bit. Tom Martell patiently waits for Shuhei.
Trying to figure out his last sideboard card. Shuhei finally done, settling on his 40.
Yeah, why don't we take a look at the other game while these guys finish shuffling. We're just going to take a quick peek to see what's going on. I saw that it's Bing Luke on the right side of your screen. And 2 hands on the left side of your screen. Who is it? Oh, Rashad. He's trying to summon. It's Martin Yuza. Okay. And I don't know who's up a game here, but it looks like they have a kind of a weird board state here with Martin having 2 Rubbleback Rhinos. And he adds a Deadbridge Goliath to his board.
There's a stab wound on Bing's Gerard.
Okay. And remember, he cannot sacrifice Gerard to himself, so he can't get rid of that. Bing battles with his birds. It looks like I don't know the life totals there, but it looks like a fairly clogged up mid-game portion here.
Both players able to cut away 2 points a turn. Bing losing life from the stab wound. Yuza taking 2 in the air from the birds. All right.
Now Bing can though he can sacrifice creatures with Gerard to start doing the whole drain thing, right?
He can. He can.
It's just a
Fortunately, we don't know
stab
the life totals right now, so we can't.
Yeah, we're just checking in on this game. This isn't our feature at the moment, but we just wanted to take a look while we were waiting for the other side to finish sideboarding and shuffling. And it looks like Bing has won this one. I saw a handshake there, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Juza won. All right,
Juza won with stab wound
Juza won
damage.
with that stab wound damage. And was that the match?
Looks.
Usually you don't see the handshake and the D sleeve without it, so I think so.
Oh. And now we're back to the Tom Martell Shuhei Nakamura match.
So we're going to have to see what that means for Bing Luke. We saw him win a real thriller on camera last round. I don't know if that means he's out, but it probably does.
He's going to need a lot to go right for him to be able to sneak into
not
the top
looking good
8.
for Bing to top 8 here.
Yuza, almost certainly in the top 8.
Uh-huh.
14-2.
So one ridiculous limited player in already.
Luis Scott Vargas, Lucas Chaklovsky, also very likely to be in.
Can I just say that they're in?
I think they're. Hughes is definitely in.
Okay.
I believe that Luis and Chaklovsky are also in, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
We
Just saw User run up there and put his thing in. He gave the big fist pump after he turned in his slip. Oh, and it looks like we're off to the races here. So Tom Martell's got a hollowed fountain and an island. And Shuhei just plays an Azorius Arrestor into an empty board currently. Martell, another island here. He could have a cancel. See if Shuhei makes a play here. He does. It's an X-Bane Guardian, and it just instantly resolves. No problem at all. And an Azorius Guildgate for Martell. He's done nothing this entire game so far. Thankfully, Shuhei's only put up 2 power over his 3 turns, so right now Martell's in a reasonable position, although he just increased that to 5.
Shuhei plays a Centaur healer. Even if he has something great, he might not want to play it out of respect for cancel.
All right, Void Wielder is going to return.
X-Bane
Well, he knows to keep him off of potentially 7 mana here.
Or keep him off of black so he can't cast any Planeswalkers this turn.
True.
Already seeing Vraska.
It also means that Shuhei has no profitable attacks here.
Yeah. Yeah, that 4 toughness.
Although, wouldn't you have battled with your Centaur? Tom is tapped out. Like, he doesn't want to block there, right?
I think Tom's definitely going to block.
Really?
I think you still attack. It's 1-4. You don't. I don't think that
we've
Tom
seen
would
people
wanna
not block this weekend that I thought were going to block. It feels like just a complete free roll to me.
Yeah, he's not worried about a crackback from the Void Wielder.
Right.
All right,
Azor's Elocutors come back. And they're going to start ticking up potentially, but Shuhei.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We're going to see a Vraska the Unseen here. Oh, there she is. And he immediately points at the Elocutors, and it looks like Shuhei is in a really, really good position here. He's going to get in for 2 damage in this particular attack right here. Pass the turn back. And Martell taps the top of his deck. He needs something specific.
He doesn't have any red.
What was he looking for, a red mana source?
I think so. Or if he has a big flyer, something that matters. Tom taking a moment to make sure he understands exactly what his opponent's Planeswalker does.
Her plus ability is interesting. It gives her sort of this death touch where any creature that hits her dies.
Right. But you don't have to attack her.
No. You can just ignore her. He decides to go ahead and attack her, knock her down a notch.
Right. Right, Shuhei used her secondary ability to destroy the Elocutors a turn prior.
So he still gets to keep his Void Wielder, but it's clearly not on blocking duty here, and it looks like Martel has to pass the turn back.
Oh.
He's facing down 3, 4, 5, 7 power right now. So he's got to have like a Hussar Patrol here or something, right?
Well, maybe he... Even if he does, probably not in a great spot.
He can take 5, yeah. All right, looks like it's a dramatic rescue and not a Hussar Patrol. He's going to take the 5, but it's only 3 damage that he actually takes. It's going to put him down to 9 here.
Ticks up Vraska. And
is that a Terrace Worm?
it is. That's the first time I've seen anyone cast a Terrace
People
Worm
play
all
Terrace
weekend.
Worm? All right. Looks, again, it feels like Shuhei might have just made himself a bit of a ramp deck here because he's playing at least 2 7-drops that you normally wouldn't be very excited to play, but there it is. He needed something big.
So not only was Shuhei able to get off to an aggressive start, but he's been able to keep the pressure coming with.
He certainly has. Just the Void Wielder standing in the way here for Tom Martell.
Whereas,
see a Gutter Snipe in his hand.
Meanwhile, Tom's draw has been both slow and largely ineffectual. He doesn't have the red mana that he needs to cast a lot of his spells. Is Tom going to fall down to 4?
He's thinking about it. I think he said, wait 1 second. He's got another Dramatic Rescue in his hand. I think he's got a downsize as well. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
He's got a downsize.
Another card that you don't see that frequently.
No, because it's not very good.
Well, generally, no.
No. I mean, if Martel has a bit of a board set up with creatures, then it can be quite good, but...
Or if he has his Elocutors that he just needs to...
Okay, fair enough. That's a good point.
Going on.
Yep.
If he thinks that he can lure in some big attacks, then...
That's true.
Downsize could be really good for him.
Still not a big fan of the card, but I can definitely see that. Does he have a Sphinx? What is that? I see a Dramatic Rescue.
Yeah. So he'll probably be able to survive through this turn.
Nothing like having your Terrace Worm Dramatic rescued, huh?
Yeah.
That's got
not a play that you see every day.
It's got a sting.
But Shuhei's just so far ahead.
Battles with everything, even though the Terrace Worm might get bounced here. It's just not that big of a thing.
Even if Tom is somehow able to figure out a way to deal with Shuhei's creatures, Shuhei still has a Planeswalker. Vraska the Unseen.
She's just sitting there.
Back up to 3 counters.
All right, so he does downsize. He's going to take 1 damage here, but he did use it in a spot where he got a card out of it, so that's really good. Vraska's ticking up, and Martel's sitting at 3. He decides not to use his Dramatic Rescue there. I think he draws an Inspiration. Is that what that is?
No.
What is that?
I think so. Is that Volatile Rig?
You might be right.
Don't have a great angle on it, unfortunately. Tom passes another turn.
I think it might be a Volatile Rig, actually, which is basically not playable in this spot because you end up being coin flipping to...
An arrest, and Shuhei just locked up the 20th Grand Prix top 8.
Wow. Shuhei Nakamura finds the arrest. Tom Martel cannot quite get there, and Shuhei locks it up. Tom Martel doesn't look